Hello, this is Wmpyr here to talk about my experience last Friday at the MMA gym where I got to do some grappling thanks to my buddy Pedro. And so here I am going up against the blue belt, who is, my understanding, the assistant instructor for the grappling class there at 365 Fitness and MMA in Houston, Texas. So the instructor is a black belt, and he has like two assistant instructors that are both blue belts. And anyway, so this is myself, very, very rusty. And we started standing. It's definitely never been my forte. And luckily, he pulls guard, as you can see. And the one thing I noticed right there immediately is when he pulled guard, it's like the old me would have immediately have been passing right there. I would have been, I don't just walk into people's guards, or at least back then. Here, you could just see me, without problem landing in his guard and just like kind of resting. And so that was a big difference I saw. And then he's put me in a half guard at this point. And then right here, I'm going for an arm triangle choke on him. That's part of that is because I am very comfortable attacking from the half mount, so I don't necessarily need to pass. So that's what I was going for, and he's trying to get his arm out right there. So yeah, that's pretty much. I'm just messing with the leg, but I'm thinking about the choke is what I'm really thinking about. So I'm keeping my head down so he can't just easily get his arm out. But then I give it up, and another thing was in that position, my left arm was doing kind of a crossface on him. And that's also to set up for the choke. But that left arm, the shoulder, my left shoulder was digging into his face. You're supposed to make it difficult for him to create space and, get me off balance and stuff. And I guess it's part of the ring rust where I just didn't feel right doing it. And maybe if I had been more seasoned at the grappling, or I was more used to it in recent times, I probably was able to do it, but not in a nasty way, because it's part of the technique. You're supposed to be able to put your weight on the person and keep them from doing stuff. So you use your shoulder to, move his head sideways and pin it that way. And I just felt like it was too nasty, so I didn't do it. And so I gave up the whole position right there, and here I am. Um, so the other thing is, this guy was very technical, and it's great because we were going technique versus technique, skill versus skill kind of match. So that's the kind of sparring that we were doing. Now, obviously, this is not sparring where it's like a fight, a street fight. It wasn't done that way, and it's actually, at least back in the day, it was more common to spar and the other person, like, what we call it was spazzes, like they come after you, like they're freaked out and they think they need to prove themselves, or if they don't do well, they don't perform well, then it's not good, so they need to perform well, kind of thing, even if they're using, power, explosiveness, speed, and strength, and not skill, right? So when you do meet someone that can go skill for skill with you, that was, I wouldn't say it was super rare, but it was definitely more rare. So when you do encounter someone like that, you should treasure it. You should really train with them as much as you can. So here I am, very lucky to have uh, met this guy, and as you can see, that's why we're able to kind of go relax. It's more like a chess match. So that's what's going on here, rather than like grinding, grit, wrestling kind of stuff. And so right here, I would totally be, ramming my shoulder into the guy and driving my weight in. But that was another thing. I felt very, very light. And here I am trying to set up for the arm triangle again. And he knows it. So that little motion you saw where he lifted his legs up right there, that's the kind of thing that like makes you go off balance. And it made me feel unstable. And so that's, kudos to him that he's a seasoned grappler, So now let me go to the next video right here. So this is just a continuation. So here we are now from the arm triangle. I'm same position pretty much. Now I switch to going for an arm lock. So here I am trying to set up either a straight arm lock, a Americana, or a Kimura. It's all goes together. And if I can, I'll go back into the arm triangle as well. So those are what, 4 submissions that I'm kind of playing around with. And it's just so that you could attack, 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 attack kind of thing, and wear him down and hopefully catch him in something. So right here at this point, he was getting me off balance, and boom, he gave me his leg. My right arm is trying to prevent him from protecting his left leg. It's blocking his right leg, but I could have done a much tighter, better job there. And then, so I'm holding on to his left leg with my left arm here, as you can see. And I'm setting up for a knee bar, right? And as I'm setting up for the knee bar, oh man, that transition, that grip change transition is horrific. And looking at it now, it's kind of embarrassing, but it just, I'm rusty. What can I say? Like I said, it's been over a decade, and me going like, there's kind of like, you want to make this skill versus skill. So you want to use as least power as possible, strength and speed, explosiveness. You want to use as least of that as possible and rely on technique. But at the same time, you want to use strength and speed and all that at the right times. So very minimally and very effectively. And if you don't, you can't just be completely like totally like a Gumby, like relaxed octopus, if you will, because then you can't really do anything. So I'm having a hard time adjusting there, where I'm trying to be skillful, but I'm being too relaxed, so there's definitely some adjustments needed. So right here with a knee bar, he's protecting by grabbing onto my arm there. I think if I had extended my back, it could have been in, because the direction he's pulling was kind of in a similar direction. But the way that I roll also is that I wasn't trying to tap him out. I was trying to get in a good submission position, even get a submission, but hold it, not crank it, So this is my first day there. They don't know me. I'm not there to make enemies. I'm not there to be super ultra competitive. I'm not there to see, how many people I could tap out, or to test myself. None of that. I'm there to have a fun experience, and within there, a learning experience. So this I'm trying to talk to you guys about some of the things that I've observed, noticed, and also, what can I learn from this? And so anyway, I'm just holding there. You don't see me like extending my back or anything. And from there, we switch into that right there. We switch into a more conventional leg lock position. And right there, that if I tilt both of us to my right side, I possibly may have been able to get a Sambo type of leg lock, possibly, maybe not, but it would have been awesome to have tried. My brain didn't even think of it. The only thing I was thinking of is what you guys are going to see in a second here, was a calf slicer or calf crusher. I was protecting my own leg because he could counter me. So right there where I figure forward my arm real quick, that was the calf slicer real quick. I did not feel like it was solid in, just to let you guys know, but let me see, right there, I think I'm setting it up, and there it is, boom. So me, I figure forward my arms right there, and that's one of those moves that it has a low percentage, so I just wanted to do that real fast. And here I am trying to get in a better leg lock position. And so we're exchanging kind of like leg locks, which is kind of cool here. And then this is one of my favorites, which I figure for both of his legs. So right here, watching this, once again, this is one of my favorite positions. I could have made the figure four much, much tighter, and my left leg should have been much more hidden. and I'm not doing a good job of that at all here. But this is a position where I like to. I like this position because I feel like there are several leg locks that are available to me. A heel hook being one of them, and like some attacks you could do to the knee and stuff. But for me, this was huge. This was like when I got this position, I was like, yes. But looking at it now, the way that I'm doing it is, once again, it's way too soft. You know, this I'm here in a solid position, but like I said, just too rusty. You know, and so he easily moves my foot off right there. And part of me was like, okay, so let's see what he wants to do with my legs, and can I work on defense too? So if he were to get on close to heel hook or something, I would tap right away. I'm not trying to see how tough I am. So here I'm still in position for a leg lock, and I still see a heel hook opportunity. And that dude right there who just threw his belt, he was really smooth. That guy, even it said he was a white belt. It seemed like he was like his next belt is blue, and he already has enough stripes to get to be there. And he looked to me as technical as I've ever been, if not more. So I thought he was pretty amazing. But anyway, uh, right here. So I'm still thinking about a heel hook, and right there, my left arm would need to come down and hook that heel, which believe me, I thought of. And if I did hook it, I would not like, I wouldn't even tap the guy out. Like I said, that's not what I was there for. So I just want to see if I could be in position for it. And there's other options to think about, and my mind honestly kind of went blank here. I was kind of like, this is sort of familiar, but I don't remember what exactly to do. But this is a position where I've been in many times, and my brain is thinking either the banana split or the electric chair. I don't know what exactly the difference is in the Eddie Bravo 10th Planet system, but it's a similar position where you like crucifix both legs. That's what I was going for. So boom, that's what I go for, and he instantly catches that, and he's trying to knee bar me, and I'm defending against it. I roll and I get on top, and this is, yeah, I got it a very tight figure four, and I have him in a cross-face position, and this is to protect my leg, the knee bar, so that he doesn't get a knee bar on me. And honestly, right here, the way his arm is, that's a choke that I personally like to do. Um, I've heard it called the shark or the shark choke, and I've also heard it called the special. And I think it's like one of the more like traditional judo moves, and you don't really see it in BJJ, but it's a choke that I like personally. I like to do it, and so I'm kind of in position for it here. I know it's a very rough choke, so definitely wasn't gonna crank it on, but I'm starting to get it a little tighter. And right when I'm like, yeah, I think I got it pretty good here, just from position alone, um, he easily rolls me over. So this is another thing where it's like my base and my balance is just not there. Not saying that it was super good before, because I am a light dude, and my top game is just not as good as my bottom game. But that was just way pathetic for me to be rolled over that easy. So good for him right there. And then I totally lost the position. And then I was thinking about the type of guard that I like is almost like a sideways guard. I call it the Wing Chun guard, where um, I'm attacking their center line at an angle, and they're not attacking mine. So that's a concept I got from the Wing Chun. So I call it the Wing Chun guard, and it's really like a sideways guard. And the whole night I thought about it, never was able to get into it. It just, in my half guard, it just wasn't there. And that's my specialty, is the half guard, quarter guard, and it just wasn't there. The way that I get it normally, I don't get um, I don't get flattened out so easily. I'm always like, my opponent should feel like they're constantly off balance, and yeah, it's and you know could definitely be because I'm out of practice, but it also could be because my opponents here at this gym were really good. So I don't want to say, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I would have done so much better back in the day, and I was so much better. I would have beaten these guys. No, I don't want you guys to think that at all. These guys are good. Okay, they're very very good, and I really felt that they were sharp, very sharp in their movement. So right here, I'm in a triangle position. I noticed that when I normally, back in the day, okay, and I'm not saying I would have finished them with a triangle back in the day, but I'm just saying that what I'm doing differently is back in the day I would have flattened this position out. I don't just stay there in the triangle, and here I just felt like I had no mobility on the ground. That was a huge factor. I felt like sluggish because I didn't know how to move on the ground. I didn't know how to get leverage. I didn't know how to the balance the base. All those little things, the little things were missing for me. My mind was still, I think, thinking BJJ relatively not bad. So as you can see, like getting into a triangle position, even though I don't get the triangle, that's not bad right there. You know, on a blue belt, that's really not bad at all. And here I know he's trying to pass me, so I'm trying to angle it off. And there I'm trying to switch to a omoplata. You see, so once again, mind-wise, technique-wise, it's there. But like body mechanics wise, it just wasn't there for me. And he easily flips me over right there, which I should have given him at least a harder time, I'm thinking there. And so now he's on top. And honestly, by this time, I'm dead tired because earlier I rolled with Pedro, and Pedro's a big boy, and he wore me out, man. That's all I gotta say. But not to say that this guy didn't wear me out, because he totally did. And by this time, me getting guard, this was like I just felt lucky to have gotten that. But he was going for my neck at that point, and so I had to protect. He was going for some kind of like a possibly a anaconda choke, and I definitely had to protect. I remember that. And so here I am, and then this is a position where, you know, I I was maybe thinking of taking his back, and this is possibly a sweep for me, but I don't do a good enough job of doing either or. So he just clamps down right here, and then I know he starts he's driving his shoulder in, and you can see he's stacking on me. And at this point, uh, he turned it up for sure. And you know, this is normally not a position where a lot of people would not tap from this, especially unless there's like a big weight difference. And this guy was bigger, heavier than me, but you know, not tremendously. So just me getting put in this position where I'm getting cranked like that, not necessarily choked, but just cranked, that's my own fault. So I was like, okay, go ahead. So I gave him the tap there. And once again, I'm not here to prove how tough I am. So if I wanted to, could I have maybe have resisted that? Maybe, but is it worth it? No, I really shouldn't be in that position in the first place. So good for him for getting it. So yeah, that's it. Looking back on that match, you know, both gentlemen did not hurt me. I did not come out with injuries, just super sore. And then on top of that, I have the gift of being able to look at my match here, um, thanks to my girlfriend for filming this for me, and I get to study the mistakes and the good things and the bad things that I did, and the good things and the bad things that they did. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.